Most devoted preparers focus on gear, food, and gadgets. However, successful survival in a real crisis has little to do with what you have. The main thing is understanding the unspoken rules that ensure your safety when everything falls apart. The first rule is simple yet powerful. Invisibility is your best equipment. In a disaster, a tactical appearance makes you a target. The goal is to be unnoticed. An ordinary backpack is always better than military gear. Merging with the environment protects you more than any high-speed equipment, and most people learn this lesson too late. A familiar person stored all his supplies in containers with bright labels, and I told him that these would be the first things looters would take. He immediately repacked everything into ordinary, inconspicuous boxes. The same rule of invisibility applies to your car. No stickers with images of weapons, no insignias of preparers, nothing that could make you a target. True invisibility also lies in behavior. Don't brag, don't post your supplies online, and don't look like someone worth robbing. The second rule follows: a 3-day period. After about 72 hours, denial turns into despair, and people begin to make dangerous decisions. Studying disasters like Hurricane Katrina and the Texas freeze in 2021, I learned one thing. The first 72 hours determine everything. It's your time to act or ensure your safety before roads, resources, and people become unpredictable. Your choice, to stay put or evacuate, must be made quickly, preferably within hours, not days. Therefore, you need pre-established triggers, not waiting and watching. When you realize how bad things are, it's already unsafe to move. Then comes the third rule: water is your main priority. Food can wait. Water cannot. You need supplies, sources, and backup purification methods. Most people think it's enough to just store bottled water and have a filter, but that's just the beginning. A real plan for water supply has several levels: reserves, natural sources, various purification methods, and containers for collecting and transporting water. One person needs 1 gallon of water a day just for survival, and much more for cooking and hygiene. For the family, these numbers increase significantly, so relying solely on supplies is not possible. It is important to have access to renewable sources. During local pollution, stores are emptied instantly. But I was ready because I had planned everything in advance. I stored water, had filtration systems, and backup methods at hand. Preparation may seem overwhelming, but obtaining water always comes first. Nothing else matters if you don't have it. Before continuing, there is one piece of advice for beginners on how to prioritize with a limited budget. A simple plan for $50 that will help create supplies for 90 days with specific products, fuel-free meals, and smart storage tips for small spaces. Once basic needs are met, the next rule becomes clear. Calories are currency. In a crisis, every action requires energy that you may not get back. Survival is not an action movie. It is about conservation. Sometimes staying put and conserving calories is wiser than chasing unpredictable resources. A simple 3-mile walk can burn 300 to 400 calories. In survival conditions, this cost matters. Many prepared people imagine endless activity: hunting, patrolling, building. However, if you burn 3,000 calories while consuming only one portion of food at 500 calories, you will quickly run out of energy. After a few weeks, it will become too difficult to function. Smart survival implies a thinking approach based on maximum efficiency. Combine tasks, minimize movements, rest whenever possible. I learned this during gear trials when limited food forced me to conserve every movement. The fourth rule is simple: be purposefully lazy. Efficiency is more important than effort. This leads to the fifth rule: fire is both your greatest tool and your greatest danger. Fire provides warmth, cooks food, purifies water, gives light, and lifts morale. But it also makes you vulnerable. Smoke is visible for miles, the flame glows at night, and the scent spreads far. The goal is not to completely avoid fire, but to understand when its benefits outweigh the risks. If people pose a threat, you must minimize the visibility of your fire or abandon it altogether. Dakota fire pits, dry wood, natural shelters, and low visibility hours will help you with this. But the main rule is, you must be able to survive without fire. The fifth rule teaches that fire is a double-edged sword. You must know when to use it and when to avoid it. The sixth rule, silence, is a survival skill. Sound travels far, especially at night. Ordinary noises, voices, footsteps, pots, even lightning at a lock reveal your presence. Maintaining silence means purposeful movement, using gestures, and understanding how your environment amplifies sound. Practice at home or in camp, completing tasks quietly. You will notice every minor noise and learn to minimize it in real situations. Noise discipline concerns not just sounds. It also includes control over light. Lanterns, phone screens, or any glow can be seen from afar. Use red filters, shield the beams, and illuminate only what is necessary. Staying unnoticed is often safer than being seen. The seventh rule is to always have an escape route. Never rely on a single exit, whether at home or on the go. Check secondary exits, remove obstacles, and ensure everyone can use them. When leaving a place, plan multiple routes. Highways can be blocked or dangerous, so alternative, slower, or indirect routes may save your life. The seventh rule concerns not only physical exits, it implies strategic flexibility. Have several destinations in mind if your primary one is unavailable. And always create backup plans, alternative water sources, food supplies, and ways to maintain operations if key group members are unavailable. The eighth rule is that people are an unpredictable factor. Disasters obey predictable physical laws, but human behavior under stress does not. Despair can turn ordinary people into threats. Planning must consider how others might act, not just the environment. The eighth rule emphasizes that people's behavior is as important as the disaster itself. Pay attention to your surroundings. Watch for signs of despair or aggression and understand the dynamics of the crowd. At first, people may cooperate, but a lack of resources quickly changes behavior. Aggression, theft, and despair are increasing. Predictable habits make you vulnerable in critical situations. If you leave the house at the same time, visit the same water source, or store supplies in obvious places, you give others the opportunity to exploit you. The solution lies in unpredictability. Change routes, timelines, and routines. Do not publish schedules online, distribute supplies in different places, and conduct random security checks. Even small habits of unpredictability matter. In survival conditions, being unpredictable protects you more than any gear. Routine brings comfort in normal life, but in a crisis, it becomes a burden. The rule of 9 teaches that habits create vulnerabilities. You must intentionally break your routines. Rule 10. Patience is the ultimate survival skill. In a crisis, the pressure to act can lead to mistakes, wasted resources, or danger. The best survivors are not the most active, but the most thoughtful, who assess the situation, plan, and wait for the right moment. Hearing distant gunshots or deciding when to approach scarce supplies, patience ensures safety and opportunities. Patience also shapes long-term survival. Rationing food requires resisting the urge to eat more than planned. Hunger today guarantees reserves for tomorrow. The practice of fasting or waiting in uncomfortable conditions develops mental resilience, demonstrating that you can endure hardships without hasty reactions. Rule 11. Your mind is your main weapon. Equipment and skills matter little if your mental state collapses. Survival is psychology. Maintaining clarity, hope, and purpose in stressful situations. Without a strong mind and will to live, even the best preparations can be useless. Survivors endure hardships not because they are the strongest, but because they have a purpose. Psychological resilience is often more important than physical advantage. To develop it, start by regularly facing manageable discomfort. Camp in bad weather, fast, or exceed your physical limits. Secondly, develop a goal that goes beyond yourself. Thirdly, train your mind like a muscle. Practice resilience, visualization, or meditation to maintain clarity under pressure. Survivors cope because they have a purpose. Mental resilience often outweighs physical advantages. Develop it by facing managed discomfort, shaping a goal beyond yourself, practicing mental skills like visualization or meditation, and accepting that survival is difficult and unfair. Summary. Rule 1. Invisibility. Rule 2. Act within 3 days. Rule 3. Water is the main priority. Rule 4. Calories are currency. Rule 5. Fire is a paradox. Rule 6. Silence matters. Rule 7. Always have an escape route. Rule 8. People are unpredictable. Rule 9, routine is a weakness. Rule 10, patience. Rule 11, your mind is your main weapon. Be ready, be smart,